bombing. Let's go. Y'all ready? Come on. Pull up. Let's wake up now. Woo! Let's wake up those pores and be happy for another day. Because you got what I need. What you say, he's just a friend. What is it? Sunday the 27th. That's right, y'all. 2025. I'm your host, Bugatti NYC, and this here's our bottom line, where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that and that, where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that. Just got me pissed. We made it through another week. It's Sunday. It's your boy Bugatti NYC, and like I always told you, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me today, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Y'all already know y'all could have went anywhere. How y'all doing this morning? It's Purple Sunday. It's Purple Sunday, y'all. Purple. It's Purple Sunday, y'all. Y'all know what the deal is. Everybody who comes here every day throughout the week, y'all know what today is. It's Purple Sunday. Hope everybody had a great evening, slept well, got their rest. If you got to go to work today, wake up with Bugatti and us at our bottom line. Who we got in the building? Batty Lynn, what's up with the purple love? Thank you so much. Good morning from Detroit. Who we got? Maine Arbor. That's right. Morning, Bugatti. That's what's up, Maine. Where you from? Let us know where you from, Maine. There you go. Arizona in the building. We like to shout out our people that's already always here with us. Betty Spaghetti repping with that glove. We also got Batty Lynn, one of the first people to ever have the gym glove. We don't forget. We see our people up in here. We see you. New Jersey's in the building. We got a lot to get into, y'all. I got a lot of clips, a lot of follow-ups, and a lot that I want you guys to know about. We got some good news, some bad news, some closures for early in the week, but y'all already know how it go. There's so much for me to put in that I got in this clip today. I really want to just make sure that we getting all the information that we got to get. We're talking about Russia. We're talking about tariffs. We got Diddy in the house about to go to court. We also got situations with China. We got situations with Luigi Mangione. Oh my God, it's just so action-packed today. Y'all pull up, get your coffee, get your tea, whatever you need to get you in the mood. Let's get it, y'all, because it's time. It's time for the bottom line. I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready to turn around and get this thumbnail going. So let's do that. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. And like I said, I hope y'all slept good. When you chime in, you got to let me know where you're chiming in from. I always do research on the regions that you guys are in so that we have relative conversations. And without any further ado, let's get into this title. Let's go. I feel so good, so energized this morning. Let's do what we got to do, y'all. Let's go. What we got here? We got Trump says Putin and Russia must stop bombing. As you know, we're in the middle of what we call peace talks. Peace. But it seems like Russia is not really getting it, because as they're having these peace talks, they're still bombing civilian populated areas. Let's get into it, guys. We still got more in the thumbnails. We also got Luigi Mangione case. The feds are heavily seeking the death penalty. Yes, there's so many people talking about Luigi Mangione because of the fact that he KILLED, the United Healthcare CEO, and right now there's much pushback because the population feel as if he should not get the death penalty. They're pushing towards for him to get life in prison. And let's keep on going. We've also got P. Diddy and his legal team reject a deal from the New York City from the Fed's office, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Yes, they offered him some, maybe like a lesser time, or they tried to do a deal with him before it was time to go to trial. Sometimes a lot of people take pleas because they feel like they'll have a better chance in just doing the time, and they don't want to go take the risk of losing at trial because you get so much more time. P. Diddy and his legal team, they said, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. And they did not accept the plea deal. And last but not least, we're thankful for this story about Elijah Arenas. It says, Gilbert Arenas' son, Elijah Arenas, comes out of a coma after a car crash. Yes, yesterday we reported here that Elijah Arenas, USC basketball star, had a car crash, crashed into a tree, was in a coma. He's out now. Hopefully everything is going good. We got follow-ups on that. But first, let's get into the main titles that we want to get into, and that's a good thing because what's going on now is finally Vladimir Zelensky and President Trump had a very peaceful and productive sit down in Rome at the Pope's funeral. Want to get into that and see what type of coverage that we had with that. So you guys, whoever didn't see this or don't know what's going on, let's get updated. Let's do what we do. Good Purple Sunday morning, everybody. Hope y'all good. Let's go.
Welcome back, everybody. 16 minutes after the hour now, President Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky this morning ahead of Pope Francis's funeral. Zelensky took to X to thank the president for the meeting after the two talked about creating a lasting peace and an unconditional ceasefire. However, this comes as the Kremlin continues to strike civilian areas in Ukraine, all but ignoring the president's calls to stop it. And now Mr. Trump is calling out Mr. Putin on Truth Social, accusing the Russian leader of not wanting to end the war and just tapping him along. The president also blasting the Obama and Biden administrations for letting Russia seize Crimea and for failing to bring peace in the meantime. However, some members of the Obama White House don't want to admit that this is their fault.
You were Secretary of State when Russia annexed Crimea. And I want to ask
when
you...
they stated
they stated,
we did not allow them to annex it.
Right.
And we stood up against it and called it against international law. Yeah, they said it. But that
can I ask you
under
about...
international law, that does not make it theirs.
Oh, it does not make it theirs, but they still took it, and you didn't take it back, and you didn't apply enough pressure to affect a change, and that's why it's still obviously Russian territory. Molly, first to you. President Zelensky is saying, I'm thankful we had a chance to chat. Will this make a difference? That picture's iconic, by the way.
It is. It is fascinating. When you think about where we were, what was it, a little more than 50 days ago at the White House and the big explosion that happened there, and this intimate conversation taking part on this, enormously historic, eventful day in the, St. Peter's Basilica, eye to eye, what a difference this could make. This was a quote from Sky News. Professor Father Francisco Giordano told Sky News, the meeting is being called Pope Francis's Miracle by members of the clergy there. So there is a lot of hope being placed on the interaction, this fresh interaction between these two men. And the president also now expressing some frustration, I would say mildly, with Putin. So this could be a major turning point.
Nita.
Yeah, that was, it looked to be a candid photo too, so amazing, right? I just want to give a shout out.
Okay, guys, y'all saw what's happening. We're having talks going on. We're having some real good things happen because now Zelensky and President Trump basically sat down and they had a good, calm conversation this time. A little different from the last one when they were going back and forth and really couldn't see eye to eye. That's fantastic. I think that means progress. Good morning, Betty Spaghetti. I don't trust Zelensky. It's not Zelensky. It's actually Putin who keeps on bombing in between their when they're going back and forth trying to talk peace. If you see, he's done it 12 times plus. Let's look into that. Let's keep on going because I want to stack this deck so we can have more to talk about because right now there's so many people out here that are fighting for justice, for Luigi Mangione. If you guys remember, this case happened a few months ago where Luigi Mangione is the alleged gunman who they say killed the United Healthcare CEO. Basically right now, Luigi Mangione has his case coming up They're really trying to push for the death penalty, but the problem is the people outside and what everyone is saying, they don't want Luigi to get the death penalty. They'd rather him get life in jail and life in prison, or possibly not even that much, maybe even manslaughter. People are really fighting for him. I'm gonna show you what's going on when it comes down to what people are doing in different areas all over. Check this out. This is outside of the federal building where he's being arraigned. People have statues, posters, everyone's dressed up in like Mario stuff.
You see what I'm talking about? Yep, soon enough you figure out this was no street festival. No, it was the latest display of, dare I say, hero worship for the murder suspect being arraigned on federal charges inside. The suspect's name, as if you didn't already know, Luigi Mangione. He's not a rock star. He's accused of being a cold-blooded murderer. And while we've seen the Free Luigi forces before, this time a few counter-protesters actually came out, and they too understood the assignment. One brought his own private security and set up a skeleton dressed like the video game character in a makeshift electric chair. Can't make this stuff up. This was outside. Okay? And inside the court, It was standing room only. And again, among the spectators, for at least the second time at a Mangione hearing, you know who was there? Chelsea Manning, the former U.S. Army analyst who went to prison for leaking secrets. Reporters asked Manning afterward whether she's a Luigi supporter, and she said she merely supports, and I quote, the justice system being done in a fair manner. Now, the subject of all this attention arrived in a prison jumpsuit, shackled at the wrists and ankles. You'll have to take my word for it, because cameras aren't allowed in federal courts. Reporters who were there say that he seemed calm, even winked at somebody in the gallery. But when it came time for business, he pleaded not guilty to all 4 federal charges against him: murder through use of a firearm, 2 counts of stalking, and a firearms offense. Luigi also faces charges at the state level too, of course, for what the U.S. Attorney General calls the cold-blooded assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on a New York sidewalk back in December.
He kept shooting.
But New York doesn't have the death penalty, so the feds do, and they want Luigi to get it. And the defense, not surprisingly, wants death taken off the table, in part because of inflammatory comments that were arguably made, like the one I just read, from senior government officials. Now, I'm going to stop here and turn things over to News Nation senior correspondent Laura Ingle, my friend, who was there to learn a little bit more.
There's a moment when an idea becomes more than just a thought.
To see the rest of this.
When you feel it.
Jesse, 2 very different vibes here at federal court today. We have this spring-like concert going on outside with Luigi Mangione's supporters singing and chanting, holding up big, bright-colored signs. But inside is where the real life-and-death battle began. Luigi Mangione entered court in a mustard-colored jail suit, hands and feet shackled, uncuffed when seated, and he leaned into the microphone and said, "Not guilty." His supporters were also inside the gallery, and reaction was audible when he entered court. Our producer hearing gasps and comments like, "This is unreal," and "He is so expletive hot." One woman was seen covering her mouth, smiling and staring throughout the whole entire proceedings. Also new today, the defense revealed state prosecutors accessed privileged attorney calls between Mangione and his attorney Karen Agnifilo, and that they were inadvertently shared. The judge ordered a letter be handed in by May 2nd, confirming private call access is protected by both sides.
Yeah, just so you guys know, all of those adorning fans and all of the ladies and supporters have already donated to Luigi Mangione to the point where he's also accumulated over $450,000 in his defense fund. And his family's already rich, so he doesn't really need the monetary. But it just goes to show you, what's going on with the nature of people at this point. People are tired of being, overshadowed and overtaken by how expensive healthcare is. We all feel the same way, that we don't get the proper sort of medical treatment, and they don't honor the right amount of surgeries and procedures when it comes down to that. I'm not going to tell you guys that this is a good idea to do, because I wouldn't want any of you guys to wind up where Luigi is right now. I got to keep on going, because we definitely want to stack this deck. I love what you guys got going on. I see you're very busy in the comments. That's why I want to give you one more clip, because this is a very important clip. This is for all of my people that say, you know what, let me go buy something on Shein. Let me buy something on Temu because it's cheaper. Sad part about that is most of the time it's cheaper because it's flimsy. It's a real bad product. It doesn't even really work and it don't even last that long. But we still wind up going to Temu and going to Shein to buy stuff. Shein is a little more better, I gotta say, allegedly, when it comes down to clothing. But Temu, you never know what you're gonna get. You get something in the picture that looks one way. Once you get it, it's probably like the size of my pinky. It's really tricky when it comes down to buying stuff on Temu. I'm bringing this up because right now, there's a trade war that's rising prices, believe it or not, everywhere. And even though Shein and Temu try to stay up under that $18 mark, they're still gonna you're gonna still wind up paying more money because cheap items are no longer going to be cheap. The $15 item can now turn into $45 due to tariffs. So you know when you buy that little camera or that light that I got right there, where I only paid 11 bucks for it and a couple of bucks when it came over here to be shipped, that light is gonna be $45 now. Check this out. I want you guys to see what's going on because y'all always like to know what's going on with the money, 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 money. So here we go.
Our social story, we post the topics on our Instagram page and you decide the story. This week's winner is President Trump's ongoing trade war with China. 52% of you want to know how that impacts and how that reaches two online shopping titans, Shein and Temu. Shein, a fast fashion giant, and Temu, whose offerings range from clothes to jewelry to drones. They're go-to sites for online shoppers looking for low prices. The two China-based retailers raised prices on some of those goods Friday after announcing the price hikes earlier this month when they cited recent changes in global trade rules and tariffs. As the catalyst, the two sites largely avoided the immediate impact of tariffs due to an exemption on goods under $800, but that is set to expire next week. Let's go ahead and bring in Business Insider's senior tech and business correspondent, Katie Natopoulos. She is here now with more. Katie, thank you so much for being here. So Shein and Temu both made their names selling these low-cost goods, but those goods got a little more expensive this week. So what can you tell us about this extremely wide-ranging impact of the tariffs?
Sure. So this actually is not exactly just the tariffs. Now, obviously, a lot of the stuff that Shein and Temu sell is made in China. But what they actually do is they ship directly to the customers. And they've been using this thing called the de minimis loophole. And what that is a longstanding law that says that if you're shipping something under $800 from China or outside the US directly through the postal mail to a customer, you don't have to pay any duty taxes on it. And the idea of this law initially was, hey, you can mail your friend a gift, or if you go on vacation, you can mail back a knick-knack that you bought at the souvenir store. And Shein and Temu have really exploited that to make their business because they can sell it really cheaply. They don't have to deal with U.S. warehouses, U.S. stores, U.S. employees at all, basically. And what President Trump has done is he said, done, no more of this loophole. Anything that's going to be shipped, even if it's a small amount, a $20 package, it's going to have to be subject to duty fees.
All right, y'all, this is where it happens.
Okay, so we've heard a lot recently about increases on specific items like cars or iPhones, but this latest announcement impacts a much broader group of products, right?
Right. So the stuff that Shein and Temu sell, it's a lot of small household goods, a lot of clothing, shoes, apparel, things that are generally kind of low priced. I think people are tending to spend $20, $50 on their orders from these kind of sites. What's going to happen is instead of the orders coming, even if they raise the prices a little bit, people may be hit with a really significant charge when their package arrives. So that could be either, I think, $30 or going up to $50 or 30% of the entire order.
You heard what she just said, right? So just because you bought something for $8, the shipping and the other parts of it is going to get you more. I'm in the comments, y'all. What y'all got to say? Kane, it's common sense says. K8 Foreign says it's common sense. What else we got? You're going to go blind standing so close to the TV, bro. Okay, stay on topic, please. Kendra, it's still reasonable from both Shein and Temu. However, the quality of Temu products are great in my opinion. Shopping Temu, I would just warn you, China doesn't have overweight people, so be cautious. What she's trying to say right here, Kendra's trying to say, make sure that the size is going to fit, because a lot of times you might see an item that you want and it looks perfect, but those people are much smaller. American-built people are much bigger. So their XL is not going to be an American-size XL. So be careful. Make sure you guys can ship that stuff back. Thank you for the one-up, Kendra. Bill Andy says, Jerry, what's up? Thumbs up. We got Bradley in the building that says, Temu is good for throwaway stuff like bathroom carpets and shower curtains, LOL. All right, Temu equals garbage. Okay, that's what you said. A. Matthew Broden says, Snozenbergs taste like Snozenberries. Bill Andy says, Calvin, right? Journalism is dead. A pity. Jerry says, LOL at demonetize. What's that? Minimalist Earl, most things on Temu are mostly useless anyway. I think I totally agree with you. Bradley says purple is royal. Thank you, it definitely is. Demonetized. Katie has a strong jaw. You crazy. Jaded says purple is such a regal color. Thank you so much for that. You guys are phenomenal. That's why I wear it on Sunday. You're gonna always see this jacket on Sunday. This is like the green jacket that they get when they play golf. We call it Purple Sundays. It's very attractive and it pops. Make you guys have something to say, entertain you, have something to look at besides me. Okay, I want to keep on going. You guys see we not playing this morning. I love the fact that you guys are getting busy in these comments. So now it's time to see what Donald Trump has to say about Vladimir Putin and our title when it comes down to what he means about he must stop this bombing and what's going on. I want him to say it himself because it's better to hear it from the horse's mouth, what they mean when they say stop. Because he basically said it the other day, and now he's going to explain it. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
In a Truth Social post, you used the words Vladimir, stop. That seemed like a slightly different message, a personal message. What is your level of frustration with President Putin?
I didn't like last night. I wasn't happy with it. And we're in the midst of talking peace, and missiles were fired. And I was not happy with it. That's what I meant, and that's, what it is. I assume that's what you mean.
Sorry. Yeah. If the bombs keep falling, will you consider additional sanctions toward Russia, or what will you do if President Putin...
I'd rather answer that question in a week. I want to see if we can have a deal. No reason to answer it now, but I won't be happy. Let me put it that way. Things will happen.
Mr. President, why are you not putting more pressure on Russia? I know a lot of Europeans...
Putting a lot of pressure. You don't know what pressure I'm putting on Russia. They're dealing. You have no idea what pressure I'm putting on Russia. We're putting a lot of pressure.
Can you maybe tell us that?
We're putting a lot of pressure on Russia, and Russia knows that, and some people that are close to it know, or he wouldn't be talking right now. The Prime Minister understands that better than anybody. He wouldn't be talking right now. He's talking. And we're putting a lot of pressure. I think he wants to make a deal. We're going to find out very soon, but it takes two to tango. And you have to have Ukraine want to make a deal too. And they're being hit very hard. And I do believe they want to make a deal.
Mr. President, you said that the Ukraine have to give some territory to win peace, among them Crimea. Do you stand by that? And I know that the former NATO General Secretary today has told you that he does not agree and he believes in territorial integrity of the Ukraine. How will you deal with that with your allies? And do you stand by that Ukraine have to give?
Former Secretary General happens to be right here, so they can't put words in his mouth. He's been a great general, frankly. It was because that's what you are. Really, you're a general. But he's been a great Secretary General. We had a tremendous relationship, very successful. And I think he could speak for himself. He's right here.
But do you still agree that Ukraine have to give some territory away to win peace?
Well, it depends what territory. They've been fighting. They've lost a lot of territory. We'll do the best we can, working with Ukraine. We'll do the best we can, but they lost a lot of territory. When you say Crimea, that was handed over during a president named Barack Hussein Obama. That had nothing to do with me, Crimea. That was 11 years ago with Obama. And they made a decision. There wasn't a bullet fired. There was no fighting. There was no anything. They just handed it over. Now they say, well, can you get it back? I think that's going to be a very difficult thing to do. That was given by Barack Obama when he was president, not by Donald Trump.
Thank you, Mr. President. You have a peace proposal that you put on the table. It's a 30-day ceasefire proposal. The national security team presented it to both Ukraine and Russia. 2 months ago, Ukraine agreed to that ceasefire proposal immediately. Russia has not. And my question is Russia the obstacle to peace based upon that, just getting to that 30-day ceasefire?
I don't think so. I think that they both want peace right now. They're ready to do something. We'll see what happens. Complicated, very complicated. But I think they are both very much looking to make a deal. Marco, what would you say?
Well, first of all, what was put before our partners was options to discuss about things that it would take to end a war. This war is endable. Both sides just have to agree to it. We've shown them a pathway forward. We've discussed those ideas. There was a good meeting yesterday. There'll be good meetings over the weekend. We've shown them the finish line. We need both of them to say yes. But
also, I want you guys to understand something, that when it comes down to China and they're trying to say that President Xi is not talking, I want you guys to know that I've done research. Xi is talking. And he has his people over here. They've already had a few meetings when it comes down to them trying to say, oh, we're not talking. United States is bullying us. They lying. Kick a rock for a block. I'm telling y'all straight up and down, my research yesterday has proven there's people in China right now detailing it, following these people. They're taking snapshots of images and getting all the way in on their IDs and finding out that this person who represents China actually was there at this time. So they're trying to front like they're not negotiating. That's one thing. Now let's get back to Russia. You guys are right in the comments when you say that Russia is the ones that's actually being pushed, being hard in this. Why? Because they feel as if they've already almost won this war. And why would they quit right now when they've got so much of Ukraine's land? They want to take full control of the land. Ukraine does not want to, if the war is ended, they want regions back that Russia has already took over. And that's what the problem is right now. I'm in the comments, y'all. Let's keep on going. Bill Andy says, alrighty, that will get you kicked out of here. Correct. What else you got? Nice suit. Okay, guys. Bill Andy, let me know who that is so we can get him up out of here. Agnes, all right, stop your lies. Okay, cool. What else we got? Nick Storms, Pastor is here. Oh my God, God is real. Amen. What else we got? Alien Cowboy Farmer. Bernie Mac called. He wants his suit back. Okay, that was whack. That was trash. You suck. Bill Andy, stay on topic. All. Nick Stone says, sheesh. What else we got? Diego Luna, what up? Hey everyone, everyone is good. All right, Jesus told me during a prayer that Donald Trump is his favorite. Okay, Bill Andy says, respect the host. Okay, Russia is importing marijuana from the DR, says Blue. What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Kansas City is in the building. What's good, y'all? What's up, Nick? Okay, Ukraine needs help, real help. They won't get it with Trumpler in office. What else we got? Okay, you guys are on point. I see you. Jerry says hit the like button, and I believe Jerry's right. You guys like the content. We've been up since 6 o'clock in the morning knocking it out. We got much more in the clip. Don't run, because as soon as you run, Betty, tell them what happened. Bill Andy tell them what happened. Kendra, tell them what happened. As soon as they be like, oh, he's asking for likes, oh my God. Then what I do, come with a banger. Bow, and they be like, damn, we wasn't there for that. We should have stayed. So all you runners, I want y'all to leave, the ones that don't want to give the likes. Go ahead, run. Because I don't want y'all to see this next clip. Because y'all not being fair. Don't even stay around. Don't stay around. We don't want you guys here. You're not showing the right type of love. But it's all good. Everybody under the sound of my voice who actually appreciates the content, all I'm going to ask you to do is double tap that screen, give your boy that fist bump. Boom, 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 boom. I don't like stopping the videos. I like keeping it going, but I also love the fact that I want to read what you guys have to say, because it's not a show if I don't reflect and see what you guys have to say about these topics. It's not about me just playing videos back to back and running my mouth. It's about the community and what you guys have to say. So as Bill Andy says, I want a lot of you guys to stay on topic. My real people like Kendra, Batty, and Bill, don't play no more. Just give me names. Don't even worry about if they've done enough already, just tell me who they are and I'm getting them out of here. That's going to clean up the BS, and then more people that's serious is going to get in here. We're not giving no warnings once you guys see them. I'm going to get them out of here because we got to move forward with serious news right now. Serious. I want you guys to stay off Delta. Tell them I said it. Call them up. Snitch on me. I want you, everybody under the sound of my voice, stay off Delta Airlines. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Because right now, Delta Airlines is investigating the second Atlanta airplane incident where the engine set on fire. This is the second time this has happened in the same day. Stay off Delta. Let's go. This is important. I know a lot of my people fly, and the skies might be friendly, but I don't know how friendly Delta's being to us right now. So let's check out what's going on right now.
Frantic fire aboard a Delta flight yesterday before takeoff. Another flight from Orlando had to make an emergency landing. Good evening, I'm Greg Warman.
And I'm Martha Sigalski. This is so frightening. Officials say the emergency landing of that second flight happened just hours after we showed you this plane fire at Orlando International Airport that happened Monday. That's where we find Channel 9's Valerie Boy, who's joining us live right now. And Valerie, what is Delta saying about all these issues?
Hey there, Martha. Well, Delta Airlines says they are investigating the cause of issues from both planes and also apologized to passengers involved.
Apologize?
That's air traffic control talking to Delta Flight 1030 as the plane makes an emergency landing after turning back to Orlando. A Delta spokesperson says the flight experienced a cabin pressurization issue while over Jacksonville. 199 passengers were on board.
I don't find it concerning at all. Things happen in...
A cabin pressurization means that more air was inside of the plane than was outside, like a balloon. And what are you talking about? You don't find that something wrong with that. And then 2 planes is already having problems. This is people that work for this country, this company, and that's trying to downplay this. As far as apologizing, when you're scared for your life, I don't think an apology is enough.
Aviation.
We talked to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University professor Christy Kiernan about cabin pressurization.
You know, what can cause that to happen on a plane?
Well, basically what you're doing is you are filling the airplane with more air than is in the outside. So it's almost a little bit like a balloon. You have a higher pressure inside the airplane than you do outside.
And just
So what happened when you put too much air in the balloon? Huh? What happened when you put too much air in a balloon? Anybody? What happens when you put too much air in a balloon? And what if you're inside that balloon flying in the sky? Let's put it together. Let's make sense of this.
It's a few hours before that pressurization issue on Flight 1030.
Rescue unit, go over to CFR or to gate 75 and start corridoring these passengers.
Rescuers rushed to Flight 1213 after one of the plane's engines caught on fire.
It was truly terrifying. I accepted my fate right then and there. I thought that was it.
Passenger Liliana Flores says she was panicked as some evacuated the plane by going down the slides. Rescuers say 3 people suffered injuries, including back pain.
The one in the very back, the inflatable slide wasn't inflating. And then another exit towards the front, the door was like jammed and it wasn't opening.
But they apologized, y'all. Y'all heard what they said. They said, we apologize for the situation, even though y'all scared for y'all lives. Y'all, we apologize for the inconvenience. We really sorry about this. So do me a favor so that we don't become statistics of Delta and winding up, oh, we apologize for what happened. Just do me a favor. Everybody here, stay the hell off Delta, at least. And I got another one coming after that. You might as well want to hold off on flying in a minute.
Now, Delta says they're not going to comment on the slides or the jam door, but they say safety is a priority.
That's another after-the-fact situation where somebody could have got hurt. Now they're talking about, they don't want to talk about the door not opening in the front and the slide not working. So that means that you could have been stuck on there while the fire was going on. So yeah, we got to pay attention and have common sense out here. Now we're going to go to a BOMB threat on a Allegiant flight that prompts the Florida airport to close for 5 hours.
We've got a bomb threat that shut down St. Pete Clearwater Airport tonight. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office tells us they're investigating a threat that was on a plane that locked the whole airport down for close to 5 hours. The airport has since reopened, but there were some pretty tense moments this evening. Passengers on board the plane, at least one of them had to be evacuated pretty quickly. And Fox 13's Genevieve Curtis spoke with one of them and tells us what happened.
All of a sudden we saw the police cars out on the tarmac, saw the plane out there with police surrounding it, and then they said the flight was delayed.
Because some idiot decided to go in the bathroom and write a note, and then the stewardess saw it and shut down the plane, that meant the whole airport had to get shut down for 5 hours while all the planes got checked.
And then they evacuated the airport.
This was a sight at PIE Friday evening. An Allegiant Airlines flight stopped on the runway, surrounded by emergency vehicles.
All right, put your bags behind.
Jim Shea and his wife, Sarah, were on that plane bound for Cincinnati around 4:15 when flight crews began evacuating 170 passengers onto the tarmac.
Everyone did move off the plane extremely fast. The emergency exits were not used. Everybody went out through the regular entryway. And as soon as you were off the plane, there was a expedited effort to move people away from the plane.
Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri says a flight attendant discovered a bomb threat written inside one of the plane's bathrooms and immediately notified the pilot.
Threat is not limited to just that particular plane. In fact, it was including all Allegiant planes here at St. Pete Clearwater International Airport, which made it incumbent upon us to secure all of the aircraft. And there were aircraft that were incoming, some were here on the ground.
Investigators checked about half a dozen planes at PIE.
And we found no evidence of any explosive devices.
That process led to a virtual ground stop for 5 hours.
Unfortunately, some idiot made a comment and threw everything into chaos.
Passengers on the plane in question were held in a contained area for several hours as about 20 detectives conducted interviews. Investigators trying to determine if the message was written at the start of their flight or on the previous one. The sheriff says they do have suspects. No one is in custody at this time.
Yeah, so they basically questioned everybody, figured out who would be the suspected person that basically would do this, and that's what they got going on right now. Be careful taking flights. I'm in the comments, y'all. I want to know what y'all got to say. Let's go. What y'all got to say about all this crazy stuff going on at Delta? I want to know what's going on in Allegiant. Nothing to do with Delta's quality, huh? The president has nothing to do with the Delta's quality. Hello from Iran. What's up, Ishan? Tinajan says, it's been bad long before Trump. Manje says they fired 40% of TSA workers. Damn. Monge says workers. Okay. Chicken Jockey. What else we got here? I want to know what else you guys got to say, because yes, stay on point about this flying, because people have to be very careful about flying on these planes. Casey says, man, some people have way too much time on their hands. Yeah, man, went in the bathroom and did some stupid nonsense like that. Marielle says, St. Pete, PIE is the airport and airline I frequently use to go to Florida. Well, Mary L, stay on point, baby. Stay on point. Vic says he's a goof. Thank you. Monje says, Kendra, thanks, homegirl. Thanks, homegirl. We always thanking Kendra because she's the bomb. Monje says, Teningen, it's sad, huh? I never seen a more incompetent cabinet and government. I don't remember America being like this. Whoa, Personal says, I'm on a YouTube watching a guy watching YouTube. Amazing. Live content. That's right. Okay, Vic Morrison says, fun fact, most maintenance on airlines is done in other countries. Whoa. Randall says, incompetent Trump. Ooh, Tenagen says, it's every day now. Stay off them flights. Be careful, y'all. Okay, what else we got here? You got a lot of stuff to say in here. What else we got? I want somebody new. Nuke says, props for going with Fox News. We go with all the news around. We go with all news, and then we decide what makes sense, because we do not kill the messenger. We say, hey, if somebody says a fire, we don't say, oh, that's Fox saying it's a fire. That's MSNBC saying it's a fire. We go check and see if it's a fire. Then we flip on the person. Because if you over here talking about, oh, the boy who cried wolf, next thing you know, whoosh, you inside the fire. So stop being like that, always worrying about what network is on, and see if they telling the truth. And you have the wherewithal to see if it makes sense. Do the research. That's what we do over here. We play many different networks, not just one, okay? And we're going to keep on moving it right now, because great story coming up. Yes, a fantastic story coming up. Anytime somebody is alive and not hurt and safe, it's beautiful. That's who I'm talking about right there, you guys. You see him over there. I'm talking about the 5-star USC basketball recruit, Elijah Arenas. He came out of the coma yesterday after that violent crash incident involving his Cybertruck and a tree. Don't know if he was saucy, don't matter. Long as he's alive, and we can deal with that later. I want you guys to see this, and I'm hoping that he hasn't any body injuries or whatever like that. You know, disciplinary actions are definitely probably going to be something that they look into, but being safe first is the main part of this.
Early Thursday morning, Elijah Arenas, a 5-star basketball recruit for USC and the son of longtime NBA player, friend of the show, Gilbert Arenas, was involved in a single car crash in Los Angeles. Arenas had to be extracted from the vehicle by accident witnesses and was placed in an induced coma when he arrived at the hospital. Some good news to report here. Arenas has come out of his coma this morning and has shown, quote, significant signs of progress in the last 24 hours. Obviously, very scary situation, Stephen A., and we're wishing him the speediest of recoveries. And our prayers and thoughts are with the entire family.
Thank God he survived. I mean, he was driving one of them cyber trucks, according to the reports, and, you know, they had to get him out of there right before the car basically became inflamed. And so, thank the good Lord. He was put in the induced coma because he had inhaled some smoke, and that's what they usually do, according to what I was told. Just thank God that he's okay. This is one of the terrific prep players in the nation that a lot of people believe is going to be very, very special. And Gilbert Arenas obviously has been on this show. He'll be back on this show, assuming everything continues to work and his son recovers in a speedy fashion. I'm just thank the good Lord he survived.
Absolutely.
He's okay.
Thank God he's all right, y'all. Did something crazy, but what kids don't? I mean, young kids, they don't have the wherewithal. They don't know no better. Get a Cybertruck, probably went out, somebody in the comments said, probably went out, had a little too much, banged into a tree. Hopefully, don't do that no more. That's what my mother used to do. Anytime you see her teeth like that, her tongue out like that, you gonna get it. And it hurt too. Come on, y'all. What we got in these comments? Because we happy about this. Bear says, why is your video flipped? Go. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Monjay said, laughing my fucking ass off. Yeah, what? Wait, I'm inhaling smoke right now. Yeah, what? Said, I'm inhaling. But they ain't going to have to put you in no induced coma. You putting yourself in a coma, yeah, what? Monjay says, an electronic vehicle success runs off their so-called mileage. They are saying they have no less miles than they proclaim. Okay. Public says word. What else you got? Natalie, good morning, Natalie Georgievich. That's the homegirl right there. Lucky to get out of that coma. That's right. What else we got? We got Get Mad in NYC says electric car fires are erroneous and can go on for days, even completely submerged underwater. Damn, for real? T. Jefferson says Bootsy, the boozy on the news. There we go. Yeah, what? He funked up. Life has challenges. Yeah, things happen, man. Things happen. But this stuff right here, this ain't something that just happens. Because we're going to get serious real quick. I want you guys to see this next story where this man is charged with murder after a violent road rage crash caught on video. He basically ran over somebody that was riding a motorcycle. These guys had a back and forth incident, and the next thing you know, the driver of the vehicle got behind the motorcycle guy and ran him over. He's no longer here. His son has comments. I want you guys to see what happened here. Very sad story right here, but it happens, and I want us also to take note of this because sometimes things happen and it's not always necessary to have an argument or a fight behind it.
After laying their father to rest, the McFields found out the man who allegedly killed their dad was arrested for murder, something they believe may have never happened without the DA getting their hands on a key piece of evidence their dad left behind.
Seeing that, happen to him, like that, not having that closure, not having that, that final goodbye, and just to have that taken from me, it's hard.
After not seeing his dad for 5 years or getting that goodbye, Jaden McField is ensuring his family left to grieve gets justice for their pain.
Now he's gone, and then I'll never, ever in my life have that closure.
The 18-year-old wearing a shirt memorializing his dad after burying him in Brooklyn Thursday.
very stressful, last couple of days, last couple of weeks.
On April 5th, Billy McField was killed in a fiery road rage collision. One day after the 55-year-old's funeral, prosecutors arrested Jordan Rosen for his murder. The 42-year-old driver from Oceanside allegedly behind the wheel of an SUV seen in this video, closing in on McField. We've stopped it before investigators say Rosen ran down McField on his motorcycle.
There was a heated exchange, and next thing you know, he runs him over, and, I lost my father, that day.
According to police, the deadly game of cat and mouse started on the Long Island Expressway. It ended on Woodhaven Boulevard in an explosion.
It's very hard to see, that happening to my father in such a gruesome fashion.
The district attorney, again, was getting bombarded with phone calls, friends, family, people in the community that wanted to see some action here. And I'm happy that the district attorney took those calls very seriously.
The family has hired an attorney to pursue civil litigation.
Whatever happens in the criminal proceeding or in the civil proceeding, it's never going to bring back Billy McField.
But they believe in death. McField's own helmet camera could lead them down the road to a conviction.
The full altercation was recorded by him, and then the officers kind of took their investigation from there.
Wow.
Rosen was remanded after his appearance today, and when reached for comment, his attorney declined. It was revealed in court the suspect manages car dealerships and his pregnant wife was in attendance. This was his first criminal arrest.
I tried so many products, but
we don't care if it was his first criminal arrest because the one that he started off with was the doozy. It was the maraschino cherry. And if his wife was there, she's a witness too. What y'all got to say about this tragic event that happened the other day? What's going on? Peace and blessings to the family, says Kendra. Thank you so much for always staying on topic, Kendra. Bill Andy says there are cameras everywhere. Just know you're being recorded all the time. Justice will now have an opportunity to be served. And that would be a damn, right? What else we got? Agnes says cameras love them, right? Yeah, what? There is a museum that shows the most dangerous animals in planet Earth. It's a mirror. Oh boy. Marielle says, oh my God, he did that with his pregnant wife in the car. Yeah, some people just road rage just took over. Now what's going to happen to him, his family, and everybody? It's just terrible. I don't know why people do stuff like that. Humans are so dangerous, says Tenny Jen. Manger says, God rest his soul. And then we got Mind, Body, and Soul TV. What's good at Kendra Walker? Kendra Walker's like, oh, with the glove up. Oh my God, says Yaya. Thank you so much for having the glove, Yaya. We represent you and thank you so much for being a member. Kendra says, great. Okay, y'all, because now it's not over. It's not over. It's not over. We got this U.S. Army soldier who was sentenced to life in prison after killing a Washington cab driver. Stole his car while he was on the run from the police for SA crimes against children. Want you guys to see this right here? It's crazy. I told you, we got a lot to cover today. If you guys appreciate the content, let me know by double tapping that screen and getting them likes up so everybody else can see what we're doing over here.
Military courthouse at JBLM today, Jonathan Lee was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole. We were not allowed to record inside, but we were in the courtroom throughout all of today's proceedings.
I am glad that he is finally going somewhere where he doesn't have the opportunity, just because he's a soldier, to leave base again and hurt another family, hurt dozens of families. Nick meant so much to everybody.
On Wednesday, Army soldier Jonathan Lee received his sentence for stabbing 34-year-old Nick Hokema to death. Nick was a taxi cab driver who lived with his girlfriend, Nicole, in Tumwater.
This doesn't bring him back, and it doesn't complete that family picture.
Nick was found dead outside South Center Mall in January 2024. Investigators say Lee stole his cab to go on the run while he was on trial for sex crimes involving children. Nick's girlfriend says this should have never been able to happen.
It doesn't make any sense how he managed to take a vehicle off base and nobody stopped him. And then the vehicle gets towed and he calls Nick.
In court, Lee said he stabbed Hokema after a disagreement over payment. Lee originally pleaded not guilty, but on Wednesday he took a plea deal and apologized to Nick's family. With Lee facing a life sentence for murder and 64 years for the child's sex crimes, Nick's family doesn't think he will be getting a chance at parole anytime soon. They say nothing will bring Nick back, but the outcome was validating.
Just being able to see him for what he was and know that other people feel the same way that I do is incredibly, He gives me strength.
He will serve his sentence at the United States Disciplinary Barracks in Leavenworth, Kansas. At JBLM, Connor Board, King 5 News.
Now, if anybody from old school back in the days know that name, y'all heard what he said? He's going to be in Leavenworth. Woo! I don't know if they updated that prison since John Gotti and them days back in the day, but Leavenworth, it's a hard prison to be in, y'all. I'm in the comments. I want to know what you guys got to say about that, and we got to thank this person right here for giving this super chat for $10. That's Yaya. Salute Bugatti and the chat. Yaya, thank you so much. We respect you. And that $10 to me is like 1,000. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to keep on going. Bill Andy says, Leavenworth is no joke. I told you, Bill Andy, what I just said. Leavenworth is the type of prison where prisoners come home and be like, ho, 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 ho. I'm never going back to jail again. So when he go to Leavenworth, ooh, he can feel it. They gonna get him. Ooh, it's gonna be real in there. Agnes says, Leavenworth, wow, good. That's, yeah, everybody know what I'm talking about. There we go. Neptune says, we used to call Leavenworth Lost in the Woods because there was nothing. It was like being on a desolate island. Damn. Woo, what Agnes says? Leavenworth, yeah, good for him, right? He deserves it, especially for messing with them kids, right? Thank you for the compliment, RC123. Appreciate you. Bill Andy said, I'm going to say it again, Leavenworth ain't no joke. He will get prison justice. That's what he going to get. What else? We got Sucks seeing him in that military uniform. Seeing him in that military uniform. You see that person right there. Why come nobody else said that? You're right. Lee Kill, you're right. Seeing him in that military uniform, they should have stripped it and took everything off of him and had him in orange or something. Marielle, every day it is something else. This world is turning into such a sad place, devoid and joy and happiness. Yeah, man, I'm so sorry to have to even report stuff like this. And still he keep on having to keep on going forward with another one. Because it keeps happening and nobody else want to report it, so we got to report it. Now we going to El Paso, where this Walmart power, yeah, he pleads guilty to murder, gets life in prison, and the victims basically speak out after his sentencing. It's a very intense situation. I had to cue it up just to the end of it, but I wanted you guys to see this because this person here is a menace to society. I don't know if you guys heard about the El Paso Walmart shooter, but this is basically what happened, and we didn't cover it, so now we got to cover some of it. Let's go.
The court wishes to address you at this time. On August 3rd, 2019, you traveled 9 hours to a city that would have welcomed you with open arms. You brought not peace, but hate. You came to inflict terror, to take innocent lives, and to shatter a community that had done nothing but stand for kindness, unity, and love. You slaughtered fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters. You left wounds that have yet.
Come on, don't mess.
After such horror, you are guaranteed the rights that every person is entitled to under the law. Now, as you begin the rest of your life locked away, remember this. Your mission failed. You traveled 9 hours to a city that would have welcomed you with open arms. You brought not peace, but hate. You came to inflict terror, to take innocent lives, and to shatter a community that had done nothing but stand for kindness, unity, and love. You slaughtered fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters. You left wounds that have yet.
I'm gonna let it. It's gonna keep doing it, but let's keep going.
After such horror, you are guaranteed the rights that every person is entitled to under the law. Now, as you begin the rest of your life locked away, remember this. Your mission failed. You did not divide this city, you strengthened it. You did not silence its voice, you made it louder. You did not instill fear, you inspired unity. El Paso rose, stronger and braver. The community you tried to break has become a symbol of resilience, of love overcoming hate, of humanity enduring in the face of evil. This community will always remember those whose lives you stole, their names, their stories, their accomplishments. Their light will never fade. While you, your name and your hate will be forgotten. This course will stand adjourned until 1 o'clock.
Yeah, he got sentenced to life in prison. This is the El Paso Walmart shooter. He killed over 15 people back then. And yeah, he finally got sentenced and he pleaded guilty. He tried to avoid the death penalty with this. Tragic situations keeps on happening back to back. Somebody in the comments said they just don't even care. They just keep on moving. Once they go crazy, they go nuts, they do what they want to do. What you guys got to say? Kendra says, it literally costs you nothing to show support on the channel, y'all. All y'all got to do is double tap. Johnny says, ain't nobody going to church at 8 a.m. Stop it. He is definitely going to be a catcher. Sherry's clapping their hands. Agnes says, yes, he's dressed like a grown-ass man and looks sharp even in his living room. That's how we do it, y'all. 15 people. How did I not hear about this? I have no idea. Professor C, war is on the horizon. This is fucking crazy, y'all. I'm sorry to curse, but this is crazy. And like, we get some really intense stories going on here. It's not always about politics. It's about stuff that's going on that nobody's talking about and everybody else is not going to bring out. We're going to make sure that it gets a view here, and we're going to make sure you guys hear about what's happening here. That's why we do our bottom line. I search far and wide to try to find information so that we can keep the fat on our brain. And that's why I keep on saying, stop worrying about Fox, MSNBC, and all these other networks. Let them tell their lies. We're going to figure out if they're telling the truth, and we're going to make our own assessments. Don't get caught up in the rabbit holes. We're going to keep on moving forward right now because we got this another situation where the SWAT officer uses gas in a standoff in Hollywood Hills. I don't know what this lady was thinking about. They surrounded her with 4 SWAT trucks. They stuck the long pole in the back window after they broke it. Started shooting in gas, and I'm talking about she was taking all that tear gas on until she couldn't take it no more. And then what happened to her? She got locked up. They won't let her out. She got locked up. And this happened in Hollywood Hills. They was already following her. This is crazy. Check this out. I had to speed it up because this is basically the part that they took her out of the car at. LAPD standoff with the pursuit suspect. SWAT officers used gas to end the standoff in Hollywood Hills. Check this out the way they did this, y'all. They already got her surrounded. That's her truck in the front, in the middle right there. Surrounded by 3 SWAT trucks. They're sticking a pole or some sort of mechanism in the back window, shooting gas in.
I feel bad for the owner of this car, but
yeah.
Okay, here she is. So it's okay. So here goes the SWAT team. Okay, so her vision was, so they knew that gas was going to overwhelm her, and they made their move. They have those gas masks on, so they're able to get in close. And there she is. She clearly looks agitated.
She's screaming.
And now they're going to look inside the car, make sure that no one else is in there. We'll keep an eye on that. But here is the driver that has refused to come out for 2+ hours now. It was involved in that hit and run in Hollywood. Led LAPD on a pursuit. Came to rest. Was a standoff with uniform officers. SWAT team came out and boxed her in with those Bearcats and used gas to finally get her to open up the door enough to where the SWAT team was able to move in, and now she's in handcuffs, still very agitated, very irritated. It's hard to say. We don't know what her mental state is. She has, any sort of disabilities, but you could tell that she's not really in great shape right now. Let me widen out here as they pat her down. Okay, so they're going to move her further away from the Tacoma, which she was in, and down the street. She's barefoot, as a matter of fact. So we don't know how, where the pickup truck was stolen. We know it was reported stolen, but how it was taken, or whether or not the person that owns that car knows this person, I guess we'll possibly find out later in the day. So there's a paramedic right there from the SWAT team, able to kind of just briefly give her, evaluate her if need be, and then the fire department.
How come every time in LA when y'all do something, y'all try to do those stupid getaway on the highway? When y'all know y'all got them helicopters, y'all not getting away from them planes. So this is what happened. She hit somebody in Hollywood, drove away, tried to get away, wouldn't stop the car. The Bearcats came in, did what they had to do. And now she's under arrest. And she's locked up. They won't let her out. They won't let her. She got locked up. No, they won't let her out. Back in the comments, y'all, what y'all got to say? They didn't slam her to the ground? How she get treated nice like that? Tetra said hi, what's up? Sing it, bro. Agnes said sing it. What else we got here? We got at least they didn't cap her, because she should have caught them. She probably didn't would have caught one if she was in New York. They on code, remember. Mr. Artist NCJ says, sheesh, the purple is clean, thank you. Tenogen says, that's one strong female. Y'all saw how she was fighting back. Natalie Georgievich said, didn't know they do that with gas. Yeah, they definitely do. Something new to find out, right, Natalie? Shared Fitness says, and they don't shoot? Yep. Old says, what's your mental state? Yeah, what? Trying. Get Mad Inc. Exactly, Jack. Until we fix our own problems, we can't help anybody else. That's right. That's a smart sentence right there. Wonder why the camera is showing the broadcast words backwards. That's because the screen is this way and the letters are not going to move, and there's no way I can control what's going on Fox, MSNBC. I can control the screen. Let's get it right, y'all. I can control the screen direction, but I can't move their text. You get what I'm saying? That's what's going on. Now we figured it out. Now we're going to keep on moving because we got some D-rugs. That's right, D-rugs, because I can't say that word. And weapons found in a bar, which was about to be transformed into what? A daycare. This federal drug case in Milwaukee, this man remains in custody now because he got caught with a lot of pounds of the good stuff and a whole bunch of these. Pow, 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 pow. And like I said, his establishment was just about to be turned into a daycare. Lucky they got that stuff before it got turned into the daycare, right? Because it could have wound up like the situation in the Bronx where they found all of those D-rugs and the fentanyl. Now I want to keep on moving forward, you guys. Y'all appreciate the content, and I know we're doing our thing. Double tap that screen to let everybody know where we are, because we are the #1 show every day between the 6 o'clock and until hour. Ain't nobody messing with us. Ain't nobody doing it like this. And y'all know it. My co-hosts know it. And that's why we pop our collars, because that's what we do. So now, I want you guys to see what's going on with this Thunder, because he thought that he was about to be the man.
Prosecutors say guns and drugs were found in a Milwaukee man's former bar and soon-to-be daycare.
He's going to remain in federal custody for now as the feds appeal a judge's order releasing him pending trial. Bill Miston joining us with new details of the case, including what was found.
A brick of drugs tested positive for fentanyl found during a traffic stop. Drug presses, pounds of drugs, money counters, and more than a dozen firearms, including a pistol with a switch and at least 7 drum magazines found between this West Allis home and a Milwaukee building and former bar, both owned by 41-year-old Timothy B.
B was in a federal courtroom Wednesday for a detention hearing. The government wants to keep him in custody pending trial, saying he's a flight risk and danger to the community. B has no criminal convictions, has a concealed carry weapons permit, and his attorney says has everything on the line to follow the court's orders. The judge agreed that B's lack of criminal history weighs in his favor and ordered him released with curfew and GPS monitoring. But that was put on hold as the government is appealing the judge's order.
Timothy B.
3941 North Teutonia.
B appeared before a city committee last spring for the bar he ran out of the building called Bar 1000. It closed in late summer or early fall last year. The government said the building was in the process of being transitioned into a daycare facility, and the bulk of the drugs and guns were found in an upstairs unit. It's a building the government says B was using to store and traffic fentanyl and cocaine that appeared to soon open for child care services. The sign on the outside says I Care Child Care. That business is registered with the state and owned by B's long-term girlfriend. She was arrested alongside B last week and released without charges. She has not been charged in connection to the case.
The government says it will file its arguments to keep B in custody by Friday. If convicted, he faces a minimum of 40 years in prison. In Milwaukee, Bill Miston, Fox 6 News.
A minimum of 40 years in prison for a brick of fentanyl, because it's much worse than having a brick of that good stuff, that other stuff. That's right. And if y'all noticed the Sean Ye that they tried to put on, did y'all notice the razzle dazzle that him and his girl tried to put on? All right, well, I'm going to tell you. If y'all don't notice the razzle dazzle, I'm going to call it out. Okay, it used to be a bar, right? Hey, yo, take the bar and turn it into a daycare. They ain't gonna think about it. So you do the daycare and I'ma still be doing my thing and we gonna do our thing that way. Didn't work and they got busted and disgusted. I guarantee you they're gonna take that property. She ain't gonna be able to maintain that spot because now they're gonna be all eyes on you. I'm in the comments. What you guys got to say about this? Okay, here we go. Jack says, well, federal prison is better than state prison. Bill Andy says 40 years minimum. Ouch. Should have stuck with the bar. Natalie says, talk about catching a case. Damn, Batty Lynn said he deserves to be locked up. That stuff is dangerous. That's what you got to say. That's right, real talk. What else we got up here? We got Casey. That's that white. Yeah, Kendra said, up VP, what's good? Yeah, what? I can guess what B means is LOL. Okay, we got Aloha. That's from must be from Hawaii. How you doing? Wesley says, Daryl, I said that last word last night. Dr. Evil, LMAO. Get mad incorporated. Okay, we got to keep on going, you guys. Popsicle, LOL. Okay, we're going to keep on going. Y'all thought it was over? No, it's not. We still going. That's why I keep on asking y'all to double tap that screen so we can get more people over here. Because when you double tap the screen, it sends out the notification. And people be like, wait a minute, YouTube, we need to go check that out. Yes, y'all do, because we get it popping over here. Now, we're going to the what you know about going out red Lex, the TVs all up in the headrest. Bad boy. We going over to P. Diddy right now because they just rejected a plea deal. I wonder how much time they was offering him. But whatever it was, him and this legal team, P. Diddy and his legal team, they said, no. We'd rather go to trial. So yeah, they just rejected that deal, y'all, and this is how it's going. Let's go.
To starting a business, paperwork can be overwhelming. That's why Busy When it comes to starting a business, paperwork can be overwhelming. That's why Busy is such a lifesaver. They handle all of your filing and compliance requirements so you don't have to go at it alone. With Busy, you get more time to do the things you love and spend less time on paperwork. It's as simple as...
They're not letting these commercials go by, so we gotta watch it. Sorry guys, but we got it right here. Or do we? What are they doing to us? I want y'all to see this. Come on, y'all. Let's reflect. Let's
Get Sports Fan TV and save over $3,000. Visit Spectrum.com/sports savings to see how.
I've got this dream.
Oh my God.
And
what
we're all
are
in
you doing?
Let's hear it.
With Wells Fargo Premier.
Listen, Caitlin, let's start with you. What happened, or what has happened in court today?
It was a pretty big day in court, Connell. We actually learned that Diddy was offered a plea deal in this case, which he rejected. Not really a surprise that when one was put on the table, he said no. He has vehemently maintained his innocence this entire time. I could not see a world where he would accept any kind of plea deal, so we heard that today. The other big takeaway from court, and we are in crunch time now, just less than 2 weeks before this is going to start and go to trial. The now infamous video of Diddy and Cassie in that hotel room where he is seen allegedly attacking her will be played in court for jurors. Now, the original video, the original surveillance, doesn't exist anymore. So we have a copy that was obtained by CNN. So, obtained by CNN, yes. And it was taken by a cell phone video. So you're going to have the person who took the video testifying in court and independent people there that are going to authenticate it. But the jury is going to see that. The other types of evidence that they're going to see is going to be video of these alleged freak-offs, these sex parties that Diddy had. And this is going to be an important thing about jury selection. One of the things that the defense wants to ask prospective jurors about is whether or not they are comfortable viewing this kind of content and whether they are comfortable with people having multiple sexual partners. Really, they don't want a prudish jury who off the bat is going to see this type of behavior, which they have always maintained was absolutely consensual on both sides, to look at that as reprehensible on their way in there. So those were the two really big takeaways today in court. Diddy was in that courthouse for, a little while. It wasn't a very long hearing. This is one of our last pre-trial hearings before jury selection begins.
All right, interesting. We're going to talk about all of that in a minute. Anything on his demeanor, or anything on from that we picked up from Diddy today?
Yeah, it was different than usual. He got into the courtroom with his pad of paper and his pen really intently ready to just take notes. And he looked back into the gallery where he usually sees a row of family members and friends, supporters of his. But when he turned around and looked in the gallery, none of his children were there today, and he visibly looked upset. Now, about 10 minutes into the hearing, his son Justin did come in and sit in the gallery. Diddy turned a second time, looked directly at him, kind of nodded, and acknowledged that his son was in the courtroom today. But you could really tell that it impacted him when he turned back and did not see any kind of friendly face, Connell.
All right, Caitlin Becker for us. Well, thank you for watching.
I don't see a lot of people trying to be his friend and trying to, be with him right now because of the scrutiny that he's going through. Plus, he's in trial, and everybody doesn't want to be taken down with that. So, you guys, what y'all got to say about this? What we got? We got Natalie that says, "Saddest when you're alone, isn't it?" Kendra RJJ, is that supposed to be a joke? Bill Andy says, "RJJ, knock off the kind of talk." Mary, I think he is a POS. But destroying the original video just doesn't sit right with me. Can easily edit, especially with AI. There you go. See? Get Mad Incorporated. Diddy the Diddlin'. Alton, whatever he did couldn't have involved anybody of any importance, or he'd be DEAD like Epstein. Dude is obviously a monster, but I wish more would come from this in regards to others. Jason said, "It's 7 a.m. Why you dressed like Cat Williams in next Friday?" How about this? It's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's Sunday. I don't have nothing to do after this. I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm doing this for you guys and so that we can look right. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do, since we're going all the way out, is double tap that screen to get everybody over here. You got to look good to play the part. What are you talking about? That should show you guys how much dedication I do. Every single day when I put this suit on, I put it on. Once I'm done, I take it off. I ain't got nowhere else to go but my own work or whatever like that. So that should show you guys my dedication, which is why you should become a member, which is why you should subscribe. I don't play around when it comes down to this, because now I got another sad story that I have to tell you guys about. This story is about a Fulton County school teacher. She's no longer with us. And why? Because her girlfriend has been arrested. She's been allegedly pow-powed. This happened in Fulton County, which is ATL, Atlanta. I want you guys in Atlanta, I need you guys to step to the front. Everybody in Atlanta, Georgia, step to the front of the congregation. I want you guys to see what's going on here.
Teacher has been murdered, leaving her students and family heartbroken. 25-year-old Kaylin Jackson was shot at DeKalb County over the weekend.
Tonight, we're learning more about the suspect police have arrested. The victim's family is speaking only with News Edge reporter Rob DiRienzo.
25-year-old Kaylin Jackson was a teacher at Hamilton Holmes Elementary School in East Point. Her murder has left her mother in shock right now.
I can't go to sleep. I can't go to sleep because if I go to sleep, it's going to be too real. It's going to be too real.
Police in DeKalb County have arrested 24-year-old Janae Colbert. They say she shot and killed Jackson in their home on Derwin Brown Drive Saturday night.
You took something that held us together.
Jackson's family says she and Colbert were in a relationship. Colbert's been charged with malice murder.
We took her in our home.
We made her family. They were fine. Just minutes before it happened.
Michelle Jackson, Kaylin's mom, says right before she was killed on Saturday, she just planned a big celebration of life for her grandmother.
I really appreciate everybody coming out, man. In my phone, I was typing a message to her. The first part of it to tell her words cannot express how proud I was of what you did. I didn't get a chance to fix it before I got that phone call from my son.
That call was when she learned about what happened to Kaylin. Jackson says her daughter's profession, working in special education and as a cheerleading coach, was her life's passion.
My baby wanted to help kids, especially kids that needed extra guidance. Her smile was it was infectious.
As Jackson's mother prepares to lay her daughter to rest, she's still trying to process all of this.
I know I need to sleep, I know I need to rest, but I can't do it right now.
Reporting for Fox 5 News.
Everybody in the comments talking about the way the moms look, talking about her mug and all of that. Okay, yeah, y'all some real trolls, and I'm very proud of you for being able to troll somebody who is basically going through a terrible, tragic moment. And everybody say, oh, this is another sad story. Yeah, but guess what? Not that many people are reporting it. It's about our folk, and I want you guys to see what's going on. Because when it's not reported, we make sure we let you guys see what's going on. And we're going to keep on moving, because if you're thinking about getting married or trying to get citizenship and doing it the slick way, and you want to try to save yourself from being deported, and you think that you're going to go get married and they're going to be able to be like, okay, give me your green card and all your paperwork. Think again, because they cracking down on that. Y'all think it's easy to get citizenship? Oh, let me just marry somebody and pay them $1,000 or $5,000. Well, check out what just happened to these 4 people that was indicted. Baltimore, come on now. Baltimore, step to the front of the stage, because this was happening out there.
These arrests mark a critical milestone in our broader effort to dismantle a criminal network undermining our nation's immigration laws.
Federal agents announced the takedown of a multi-state marriage fraud operation. Just hours ago, this footage was released, capturing people being taken into custody right here in Baltimore. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Friday. I'm Mary Bubala.
And I'm Kai Jackson. Fox 45's Alexa Ashwell was there for today's announcement. She joins us live with how investigators say they uncovered the scheme in the first place. Alexa.
Yes, Kai, Mary, we're told this was the result of a years-long investigation with 4 American citizens working as the ringleaders of this operation.
Good morning. Newly released video by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration captured federal agents arresting 10 foreign nationals who they say came to the Baltimore field office to fraudulently obtain a marriage license. The men all taken into custody during their interviews.
The aliens who tried to defraud the American people yesterday left our office in handcuffs. The message is clear. Do not engage in marriage fraud.
The agency sharing video of the arrest while announcing the takedown of a marriage fraud operation they say has been under investigation for years. Coined Operation Bargain Brides, investigators announced indictments against 4 ringleaders, all U.S. citizens who were taken into custody last month.
Individuals who recruited, enticed, and groomed U.S. citizens, encouraged them to enter into fake relationships and fraudulent marriages, and submitted false representations to USCIS to unlawfully obtain immigration benefits.
Investigators said these 4 ringleaders weren't just grooming U.S. citizens in order to coordinate marriages, rather profiting significantly, charging foreign nationals up to $40,000 for arranged unions and generating upwards of $40 million in illicit proceeds.
The 4 ringleaders who collected millions of dollars for arranging fraudulent marriages have been arrested and face serious criminal charges. We also prevented more than 120 aliens from illegally obtaining green cards, and we are not done yet. The arrests here and across several states yesterday are just the beginning.
Agents stress the work hasn't stopped and investigations continue, but the message clear.
To date, USCIS has denied over 100 petitions or applications filed by or for the benefit of these foreign nationals. This is not a victimless crime. Marriage fraud compromises the integrity of our immigration system, it diverts critical resources, and it erodes public trust.
So you basically gotta know right now that they already know the loopholes that everybody's trying. They know they're gonna try to do this, they're gonna try to do that, and boom, caught you trying to get married, thinking that you're getting citizenship in the United States of America. I'm in the comments. I want to know what you guys got to say. Casey says, sold it to you, Jason Merritt. Yeah, what? Bang. That's a nice idea for a job. I work hard. They work smarter than me. Jason said agreed. Yeah, right? $40 million, 40,000 apiece. Green Zone says, mobster. I even mentioned those satellites. What else we got here? We got Green Zone says, mobster. I know he's a saint. What else we got? We got Get Mad Incorporated. You got to state all of the presidents. Nah, what else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Wesley says, I barely remember the whole Pledge of Allegiance. We got Sherlock that says, the Joker jacket. Thank you. That's what it is. Casey says, yo, you guys are cornballs worried about my boy's suit. Y'all just hating for real. But they still here, Casey, and it's still giving me the run, so we don't care. Green Zone Mobster says, aliens came over because of Kinsey anyways. What else we got? We got Quantum says, I was at a gas station once. A Pakistan man that worked there asked me if I could marry him for $7,000 to get his papers. I laughed and said, hell no, shaking my head. Ooh, turned down for what? Turned down for 7. She was not going for it. Smart you, because that could have been a setup. And not only that, once you marry a person, they get your social security number or your information. And if you got a bank account and all of that, it's not even worth it. $7,000 is not worth. Y'all ready? Watch your head. Taking that ride like this when you're like 40-something years old, looking stupid in the back of the car because you thought that you found a slick way to get a little bit of money. Don't do it. Don't get caught up in the nonsense, you guys. If y'all appreciate the content, we've been up since 6 o'clock in the morning. Yes, it is Purple Sunday. That's why the jacket come on. If you want to make some more jokes, be here next Sunday because this jacket will be on again because it's Purple Sunday here at Our Bottom Line. People that be here all the time, they understand how we get down. People that's new, thank you for being here. Share and like. Do me a favor, double tap that screen because right now, I don't know if anybody here does sports betting. I got a lot of gentlemen here. You guys do draft picks. You guys do different type of sports betting, right? Come to the front of the congregation. Whoever does sports betting, because we got this situation that you guys might want to look out for in this casino who won't give payouts to this Chicago area man who won big sports bets. He happens to be very smart. So Caesars is denying his payments, and they referred him to the rules of the game when he's talked about where's my money at. They keep on giving him pieces of paper and referring him to other stuff, but the paper that he's getting is not the greenbacks that they're supposed to be giving him. He wants his money, 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 money.
Tale of a 20-something suburban man who won $800,000 in sports bets. He traveled as far as Iowa to place his bets. Then when it came time to cash in, the casino said, no way. Our Suzanne Lemonnier is listening to this would-be winner and gives us an inside look at the life of a professional gambler.
These are the winners I'm holding, theoretically, or what should be $800,000 in my hand.
We meet 24-year-old Thomas McPeak in the home he shares with his parents. An area in their house is a shrine to their favorite teams.
You've read every single one of these books.
Yeah, this was a calculated attack, I guess you could say, where I thought I had an edge.
This refers to stacks and stacks of sports bets placed last year. Complicated wagers on football called parlays, where several events all have to happen to win. First stop, Horseshoe Casino in Hammond in August.
You went in with $30,000.
Roughly over the course of 1 week-ish.
And your wins were $350,000?
$350,000.
The next stop, the Isle Casino in Bettendorf, Iowa in September. Both locations happen to be owned by Caesars.
I take about $20,000. I sat at the kiosk for 4 hours just punching in my bets. Bet after bet after bet after bet after bet.
McPeak looks for wagers where he believes the odds are in his favor.
If you want to take a look at that notebook.
McPeak does extensive research, some of it laid out here in his handwriting. Over time, he and other professional gamblers believe they can gain an edge, but it's hardly a slam dunk.
It's not like I can just snap my fingers and just make the bets win. They still have to win.
Most of the tickets did not win.
In my hands right now, these are all losers.
But a few of the tickets were winners. Big time.
And I won $350,000.
But they won't pay it to you.
No, they will not.
McPeak tells us Caesars voided the tickets when he tried to get his cash in October. He says he was referred to the house rules.
Do you think that's fair?
Of course not.
A similar story when he returned to the Iowa casino this January to collect $450,000 for these winning tickets. This time, he was given a printed sheet highlighting structuring or anti-money laundering rules and repeat wagering policies.
You want to fly under the radar?
I want to fly under the radar.
McPeak, like many so-called advantage players, go out of their way to remain anonymous. McPeak places a lot of smaller bets at a kiosk instead of one big one with a clerk at the counter to avoid his bets being rejected. Listen to the lengths he'll go to.
I'll switch up to the disguise, sunglasses, I'll hide my hair in my hat, I'll put it up in a bun.
Horseshoe and Hammond banned McPeak and voided his wagers. That's in contrast to FanDuel and Blue Chip Casino in Michigan City, which also banned McPeak after a big win. But Blue Chip paid him first.
They paid me a check of $127,000. They got beat. I won the bets.
McPeak took his gripes to state gambling regulators in both Indiana and Iowa. Neither state sided with him.
Because it comes off the taxes, and if they don't win, they don't get the money. That's not right. We got a person here that seems like he's totally knowing what he's doing. It's not his fault that he know how to gamble, and he's kicking their ASSs, and they don't want to pay him. That's dead wrong. I don't think it's right. What do you guys think about it in the comments? Let's go. Because if they was beating us, then it'd be okay for them, right? But we happen to have somebody that dedicate their life reading books, doing all this work. Now all of a sudden, because he's winning, y'all don't want to pay him. That's somebody right there that they lucky didn't go in there going crazy. What y'all got to say about this? That's a shame, says Tweaking. Yes, it is, ain't it? Marielle, casino rules, losing a lot is okay, and we will take your money. Winning a lot is not tolerated, and you will not be paid. We only let losers play. You see that? You see that? If he pays the taxes, it's legal. Even stealing is taxable. Once they pay him, the taxes is taken out. Bill Andy, pay the man, plain and simple. He's smart, and he's being penalized for that. Yes, thank you. See what I'm saying? Why certain people I love being here, because y'all common sense and no common sense. That's right, Bill Andy. Jason says, yeah, the casino's about Jimmy and Hoffa. They about to Jimmy and Hoffa this guy. Yep, LOL. Dennis says, happens a lot when it comes to money than a few G's, right? When it comes to more than a few G's, says Dennis. Main Arbor, LOL. Yeah, what? Get a haircut, hippie. Corey says it will teach them to pay out. Casinos are not in business to pay out. Winning bets, and he's laughing, says Tapila. Yeah, you see what you guys are doing. What's up, athletes? How you doing? Go ahead and tap in and join the channel. Kendra says, get off the host outfit. If he was ashy and jeweled down here, it would still be an issue. Who the F are you to judge someone? Don't even worry about them, y'all, because we know how we look. We know what we're doing up in here. We killing it. We killing it up in here. We ain't worried about that. You guys that staying on topic, I love the fact that you are, because a lot of these stories could also happen to you. So don't let it. Don't let this happen to you, especially when it's something like that. You know, when you bet your money, you want to get paid. And Bill Andy, you're totally right. It's not his fault for being smart. You see all those books laid out. You see he also loses money. He don't always win. So when it's time for somebody to get paid, you let that would have been one of y'all with the smart comments about my jacket or whatever like that. Whoever's in the comments talking about whatever I got on. You let that would have been one of y'all that wasn't getting paid out. Y'all will be screaming to high hell, give me my money. What's going on? Exactly. So yes, pay that man his money and don't try to Jimmy Hoffa him, LOL, like a lot of you guys are saying that they might try to do. Okay, y'all, if the house doesn't win, who they mad at? They mad as fuck. I'm gonna say it. Kevin says, you look sharp, bud. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys. I want to show you this crazy situation right here. I'm scared of heights. The only heights I'll be hanging out in is Washington Heights. If before this right here, I'll go to Brooklyn Heights. I go to any heights, but this one right here. I don't know what's going on with you guys in Austin. Y'all got a situation where anytime y'all see a crane, yes, by a building, y'all want to go swinging on the crane off of the hook, because you know what they do, right? They put the crane out, and then there's a long string with the hook on it that they attach when it's not being worked, right? You know what these people in Austin is doing? They going and hooking themselves up to these hooks on these cranes and swinging with selfie sticks. I gotta show you guys better than I can tell you. I want you guys to see what these stunts is actually doing. And this is not the first time. In Austin, they say that they always do this. Check this craziness out.
This video of a man swinging from a construction crane high above downtown Austin was recorded by Jack Zimmerman Sunday morning. Zimmerman was in a high-rise across from a building known as the Republic. Work crews were back Monday at the 48-story building. The video from Sunday was posted on a social media site and quickly went viral. Among those who viewed the post was Eric Tucker.
I thought that was pretty crazy. I thought maybe it's a new form of base jumping.
Do you think it was real?
No, I thought it was AI. But then again, I don't know. It's just crazy people nowadays.
Several people were in Republic Square Sunday and witnessed the stunt.
I could not watch after I saw him dangling there because I thought he was going to cut the cable or whatever.
You just thought he was going to jump?
Yeah, I did.
The man made several wide swings from the crane. If you look close, a selfie stick appears to be in one of his hands. And on the crane's arm, there appears to be a second person watching as the man swings below.
I want to know how he got up there. I mean, and did you see the selfie pole too?
Right.
I want to see his perspective.
There have been other cases of crane climbing in Austin back in September of 2023. First responders brought a man down from a site along 6th Street. A year earlier, at the Republic site, a man was arrested and charged with trespassing. Sunday's incident may be a familiar criminal act, but it was still frightening for those who gathered around a nearby coffee shop.
It was crazy. We were all very scared, just staring up there the whole time, worried he was going to fall, but luckily he didn't, and I guess he got away.
In the climb back to the arm of the crane, you can see that there's a safety line attached to the man. This video from Eve Lessing provides a 700-foot perspective of the escape that followed.
And he climbed himself back up, and then the arms right here that are attached to the building, he climbed over into the building, and then you never saw him again.
Yeah, they said it's not the first time that that's happening. I guess you guys be doing all types of stuff like that in Austin. And yeah, y'all don't follow these people, because next thing you know, oh, yeah, not me. Only heights I deal with is Washington Heights. What y'all got to say in the comments? Bill Andy says, swinging from a crane, that is the height of human stupidity. Natalie says, the guy is crazy. Yeah, y'all right. Jason says, this them white people activities, LOL, Jason said. Kevin says, stupidity showing its ugly side again. Money says, yeah, what, me too. Kendra Walker dying laughing. Maine Arbor says, a narcissistic. Yeah, what, ouch. My feet tingle now, so scary. Kendra said, that Jason, we can figure out who's doing what. Please, no name calling. What else we got here? Yeah, what? My feet tingle watching heights scared. Yeah, since I fell from 3 stories. Man, it ain't funny. Where's my money, Bubba? What else we got? We got Natalie Georgievich that says, they seen it on TV, I think. Jason says, laughing my ass off. That's white people stuff. Y'all stay with that. That's white people stuff. Yo, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. Money Tree says, Jason, you ain't lying. William Paul says, why? Thomas, indeed. That's right, y'all. Yo, that was crazy. Tell me we ain't get busy today, y'all. Y'all know what this is. This is the #1 show between the 6 o'clock until hour. This is our bottom line. Do me a favor, you guys. Y'all appreciate the content? Go ahead and double tap that screen. Let more people know what we're doing over here. Join, become a member, because we get it popping every single day, just in case you're interested. And if y'all want to make some money, Go on over to the comment section, in the description section, because I got some surveys in there today where you guys can make up to $500. I'm going to make some money too, and we all going to be happy. So also, don't forget that we got this Show Your talent show that's coming up. I'm going to be hosting it in the 5 boroughs of New York. If you are talented, if you can cook, if you can dance, if you can sing, if you can do anything that has a talent behind it, I want to see it. Whoever has the best talent in these locations, I'm going to give you $250 for the Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island. Then we all come together to do the grand finale where you can win up to $1,000. That's right. Everybody who actually won, you come on over and you will be able to compete for the final, which is a $1,000 cash bonus that I will be giving you, sponsored by Big Drip Hard Punch. You guys want to be a part of the talent show? All you got to do is go over to the website, www.drinkbigdrip.com. That's 2 G's and 2 P's. drinkbigdrip.com. Sign up, be a part of the talent search, and see if you can make up to $1,250. I'm going to love to see you because I'm going to be hosting. We're going to start in New York, then we're going to all the other states. Can't wait to meet you guys. Also, you already know, if you're a company, you got a flyer, a post, or something going on, send it in to the email address. That's why we do what we do here, so we can share in the demographics. You send me your promotion, I put it up in the post area, and many more people will be able to see your business. I don't just use this platform for myself. This is our bottom line, and that's why we made it. And just so you guys know, I want you to have a fantastic Sunday. Go outside and get some air, drink your water, thank God for another day, and stop complaining about problems, because problems present opportunities. You were able to wake up today, so that means that you can keep on moving forward and solve that problem. One other thing, you guys, if you're feeling bad, count of 3, follow behind me. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3, smile. That's all you got to do, and it's free, and it makes you feel good, right in the gut where it matters. And with that being said, you guys, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. So until tomorrow, because we do this every day, how we do it, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Y'all stay safe. Have a fantastic day, because you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. See you guys tomorrow. Stay safe. Let's go. Get 'em!